Good evening and warmly welcome back to the channel for Iraqi Dinar Intelligence. Tonight, we begin with rapidly breaking overnight developments that could definitively mark the highly anticipated start of one of the most significant financial moments in all of modern history. Reports are currently spreading intensely across investor networks and numerous financial circles that Tier 4B liquidity, yes, the long-awaited activation for all private holders of Vietnamese Dong and Iraqi Dinar, has been reportedly confirmed as fully operational. The strong signals emanating out of currency monitoring frameworks, treasury channels, and internal banking systems are now collectively showing a synchronized, coordinated movement. For many months, patient investors have watched this unfold quietly, diligently waiting for that single, unmistakable sign that the entire complex process had formally commenced. Tonight, those specific signs are lighting up the financial landscape everywhere you look. Whether this reported movement truly marks the definitive, long-awaited financial shift or is simply another calculated step in the continuous structural build-up, what is currently unfolding right now deserves the intense, full attention of everyone involved. Because if these early, strong indicators are indeed correct and accurate, we are collectively witnessing the undeniable initial wave of a major global financial reset actively taking real, concrete form. This is a monumental event that holds the power to reshape exactly how global liquidity, financial assets, and national currencies flow across the entire world economy and structure. Please stay fully with us as we carefully break down every single component of this situation, piece by strategic piece, in the clearest possible terms. Over the course of the last 24 hours, numerous independent confirmations have rapidly begun circulating from established private exchange networks and highly trusted financial monitoring groups. Each and every single one of these confirmations appears to consistently point in the very same direction. Internal banking databases are now reportedly showing liquidity confirmations, and Tier 4B processing systems have been activated and are fully live. For anyone who may be new or just joining this complex discussion, Tier 4B specifically refers to the non-institutional, private currency holders who have meticulously registered and thoroughly prepared for currency redemption under the massive, broader global revaluation framework. These holders are not major institutional players, but are ordinary individuals and organized private groups who have diligently held currencies like the Vietnamese Dong or the Iraqi Dinar, patiently waiting for the official revaluation process to successfully reach their designated level. The powerful and crucial term liquidity confirmed strongly suggests that the designated internal banking systems have formally acknowledged that all necessary funds are reliably available and can immediately begin flowing through all designated, secure channels. This does not instantly mean that absolutely everyone can rush out and exchange their currency this very second, but it is an incredibly powerful signal that the complex back-end systems have officially been opened for business. This is correctly considered the very first verifiable, essential step that must take place before any wider public exchange rollout or official public announcement occurs. Now, let's strategically step back for complete clarity on the situation. The concept of transactional codes often creates confusion for newer listeners, so it is vital to explain it in simple, plain English terms. These specific codes represent definitive digital authorizations that are specifically designed to unlock essential payment pathways within the overall global banking structure. When reliable reports state that Tier 4B codes are now officially live, what that fundamentally means is that the systems which securely hold all the private exchange funds have been digitally and formally authorized to immediately connect with verified private accounts through all secure financial networks. In much simpler terms, the money and the funds were always reliably there, but the official, necessary permission to legally move it is now being confidently granted. Historically, every single major phase of the complex revaluation process fundamentally begins with this very same initial step, the successful release of unique transactional access codes that open all the essential liquidity gates for that specific designated group. So, when numerous banking systems begin registering new and consistent code activity, and when those specific systems are reliably synchronized with high-level treasury oversight, that typically and accurately marks the true, verifiable beginning of the official payouts and redemptions. And that precise, synchronized activity is exactly what the very latest overnight financial reports seem to strongly and consistently confirm across multiple channels. This specific moment feels particularly significant and important because of the current timing of all the events. Over the most recent weeks, we have clearly and publicly witnessed Iraq successfully finalize its new internal banking reforms, complete its new exchange rate structures, and align fully with all international compliance systems, including ISO 20022 and SWIFT. Meanwhile, Vietnam has been diligently following a nearly identical financial path, thoroughly preparing its internal financial system for new gold-backed currency frameworks and digital financial settlements. When two major, independent economies actively synchronize their core financial systems in this very specific way, it is incredibly rare for this to be simply a random coincidence. Add to this the very quiet, yet significantly noticeable, precise alignment within major Western banking systems, diligently updating their currency placeholders for the Dong and Dinar, and the undeniable financial pattern suddenly becomes extremely difficult to ignore or dismiss. It strongly appears that all of the world's major financial institutions have been quietly and secretly preparing behind the institutional scenes for this one very specific moment, a crucial moment where both the Western and Eastern financial frameworks strategically begin operating under a completely new global model of asset-backed financial settlement. What is truly fascinating and compelling tonight is the consistent confirmation of initial internal test transactions. Several reliable, independent financial observers have now shared specific reports of back-end systems clearly showing distinct, verifiable movement between internal holding accounts that are directly associated with the Tier 4B liquidity pools. These initial test transfers are typically small, specific symbolic amounts designed solely to confirm system readiness before the main exchange wave is officially allowed to begin. The critical fact that this type of activity is now reliably appearing on overnight banking logs unequivocally means that the entire system is actively communicating and functioning successfully. Every major financial event from major currency redenominations to central bank adjustments always rigidly follows this exact same testing protocol before any official public release or announcement. So, while the general investing public may not yet see any visible, dramatic changes in the retail exchange rates, the complex inner workings of the global banking infrastructure are strongly telling a very different story, a clear story that undeniably indicates complete readiness for the next stage. Another equally compelling and verifiable sign is the reported sudden update of certain internal foreign exchange screens inside major international and U.S. banks. Numerous bank employees have reported clearly seeing new specific placeholders actively listed for the Vietnamese Dong, VND, and the Iraqi Dinar, AQD, both clearly and uniformly marked as pending rate update. In any professional banking system, that specific phrase does not appear randomly or by any simple accident. It simply means that the currency listing has been officially flagged for an official rate change that is known to be imminent but is not yet publicly visible to the general public. This exact same sequence of system events occurred during past successful revaluations of other national currencies just moments before the official rate adjustments were formally published and released. While no final currency numbers have yet been made officially visible, the very presence of these active placeholders serves as a very strong, technical clue that the necessary revaluation mechanism is now fully engaged and active. These specific system changes are not mere rumors taken from online forums. They are very real, verifiable, system-level technical changes that are actively happening right now inside legitimate, high-level financial databases. Many hopeful investors are now urgently asking the single most important question: what precisely does this confirmed movement mean for private holders anxiously waiting in Tier 4B? The answer is one of cautious optimism and strategic planning. If the official liquidity has indeed been formally confirmed and the crucial codes are reliably live, The immediate next phase involves successfully scheduling redemption appointments through officially authorized centers and designated financial institutions. These specialized centers have been strategically and quietly established for months, specifically designed to process all exchanges under strict, controlled conditions. Once private holders receive secure links or official notification emails, they will proceed through all necessary verification steps, physically present their currencies, and reliably confirm their identity. Each appointment strictly follows all necessary anti-fraud and compliance protocols, ensuring that every single participant is completely legitimate and every single note is thoroughly validated for authenticity. Once fully verified, all funds would then be reliably credited into newly structured accounts that are reportedly tied directly to the emerging quantum financial framework. It is an extraordinary and significant step forward for those individuals who have patiently waited for many years to finally see this long process successfully reach their specific redemption stage. Now, what structurally separates this highly anticipated moment from numerous past false starts and unfulfilled promises is the unprecedented and verifiable alignment between a multitude of independent financial systems. In previous disappointing cycles, one financial region would often appear fully ready while another critically lagged far behind in preparation. But now, the major global banks, the U.S. Treasury, Vietnam, and Iraq all seem to be moving methodically and simultaneously in unison. This crucial synchronization is absolutely essential for any global revaluation of this magnitude to successfully function without catastrophic chaos. The entire financial world operates strictly on precision rates and coordinated timing. Compliance and financial settlements must flawlessly match across every border and institution to prevent any global imbalance. The critical fact that all these separate moving parts are definitively showing signs of simultaneous, successful readiness strongly suggests that this is fundamentally not just another isolated system test. It is clearly a carefully timed, coordinated activation that is fully integrated on a global scale. That is precisely why so many professional analysts sincerely believe that the confirmed Tier 4B liquidity signal marks the true, verifiable beginning of the long-awaited global revaluation event. Another important layer for all investors to consider is the direct, structural connection between this massive liquidity event and the rapid emergence of the new asset-backed currency structure. Over the most recent years, global financial institutions have been actively transitioning towards advanced systems that actively prioritize physical assets such as oil, gold, or major commodity assets as the foundational backing for all national currencies. The old, traditional debt-based fiat system has been under intense global review, and this monumental transition aligns perfectly with the entire concept of reliable asset-backed liquidity. If the Tier 4B exchanges are indeed being processed within this secure new structure, it could definitively confirm that the asset-backed system, often referred to as the quantum financial framework, is now officially and fully operational across major institutions. This significant development would specifically mean that every single dinar or dollar exchanged in the system is definitively tied to measurable, physical assets, thereby significantly increasing transparency and reliably reducing manipulation. In other words, the official release of Tier 4B liquidity is much more than simply a matter of individual payouts. It is fundamentally about ushering in a completely different and new financial era for the entire world. Astute observers are also clearly noting the surprising, calm precision with which this extensive rollout appears to be deliberately occurring. There is absolutely no visible market disruption, no public panic, and no rushed, chaotic announcements. Everything appears to be consistently unfolding in quiet, professional coordination, which strongly suggests that the entire complex process is under very firm, absolute control. Historically, when the biggest, most significant financial transitions take place globally, the most successfully executed ones usually happen quietly and smoothly well before the general public even genuinely realizes the profound shift has occurred. By the crucial time that major announcements finally reach mainstream media headlines, the fundamental underlying financial systems have usually already been completely adjusted and updated. That is precisely the core financial phenomenon that appears to be actively happening right here and now. While average retail investors are still actively speculating, the definitive technical foundation for the new global financial reality appears to be successfully settling into place quietly overnight. Let's also definitively acknowledge the massive broader global context of this entire event. Around the entire world, economies are collectively recalibrating their financial structures, shifting trade balances, global inflation pressures, and geopolitical restructuring have all intentionally created the perfect, necessary environment for a major financial realignment to occur. Iraq's vast economy has significantly matured since its initial recovery phase, strongly supported by robust international trade and significantly stronger oil output. Meanwhile, Vietnam has rapidly emerged as a powerful global manufacturing hub with strongly growing exports and foreign investment. Both nations have successfully modernized their core banking infrastructure, fully integrated necessary digital financial tools, and strictly adopted all major global compliance standards. These crucial financial upgrades did not simply happen randomly by chance. They were intentional and mandatory preparation for this exact eventual scenario. As both nations collectively move toward international recognition and currency stability, their careful alignment with Western banking frameworks provides significant legitimacy to this entire coordinated revaluation process. Tonight's massive developments also intensely highlight the immense, enduring patience of those private holders who have actively held these specific currencies for many years. Many private holders have successfully endured numerous cycles of intense frustration, speculation, and widespread misinformation, but major financial shifts of this overwhelming scale never happen overnight without warning. They absolutely require many years of meticulous legal, international, and technical coordination behind the scenes. That is precisely why today's reliable confirmation of Tier 4B liquidity feels so truly monumental to the community. It is not the random result of a new rumor or speculative chatter. It is the powerful product of years of structural, dedicated work finally and successfully coming together in unison. It is the precise moment where long-held anticipation successfully meets verifiable readiness. For all long-term holders, this specific period is a vital time for calm, rational preparation, not impulsive or emotional reaction. The next few days may bring further reliable updates, confirmations, and possibly the very first tangible steps toward officially receiving redemption appointments. Financial experts are urgently encouraging all holders to remain patient, vigilant, and extremely disciplined. While the strong temptation to immediately act quickly is understandable, this crucial phase is strictly about compliance and thorough verification. The banks will proceed methodically, reliably ensuring that every single participant successfully follows all proper, designated channels. Anyone receiving any type of notification should thoroughly verify its authenticity and source before taking any further action whatsoever. As consistently happens, there will always be aggressive opportunists attempting to fraudulently exploit this temporary confusion, but the legitimate, real exchanges will only take place through officially designated, secure redemption systems and centers. This is fundamentally a very controlled process, not an open market, chaotic event. Those disciplined individuals who remain alert and fully organized will reliably be the only ones who navigate this successfully when their time finally arrives. From a purely technical standpoint, the overnight confirmation of Tier 4B liquidity simply means that the entire financial architecture has now successfully entered its fully operational phase. Data links between commercial banks, treasury systems, and central banks are confirmed as live, actively transmitting secure confirmation codes through rigorously encrypted channels. The crucial communication layers that previously connected separate financial systems are now reportedly working as a single, unified network. That is a significant historical milestone in itself for global finance. It demonstrates the profound digital transformation of global finance, one that successfully utilizes instantaneous, secure verification to consistently prevent any manipulation or errors. As this brand new financial framework effectively stabilizes, the entire world could potentially see much faster, reliably transparent transactions unlike anything the traditional, slow system could ever reliably provide. Observers are also actively pointing to new, measurable patterns in internal interbank settlements. Small but reliably measurable fluctuations have been detected in cross-currency transaction times, strongly suggesting intensive back-end recalibration is currently happening. When major global banking systems adjust to a new operational mode, these very subtle, technical shifts are often the earliest verifiable public clues of the change. Liquidity thresholds expand, security keys update immediately, and settlement times demonstrably shorten. That is precisely what experienced financial technicians are vigilantly watching right now for all confirmation. Each minor fluctuation in settlement data strongly indicates that something much larger and profound is actively moving underneath the surface. The strong alignment of these consistent trends across multiple banking regions significantly strengthens the strong case that Tier 4B liquidity has indeed been officially activated and that this entire complex process is verifiably real and in motion. We must all remember that revaluations of this massive magnitude are intrinsically global events, not just isolated, small occurrences. Iraq's currency movements will profoundly affect trade contracts, regional partnerships, and major oil settlements worldwide. Vietnam's crucial adjustments will significantly influence foreign direct investment and major manufacturing exports globally. The synchronization of both these nations under a single, broader liquidity event could signal the definitive opening chapter of a massive, far-reaching financial recalibration of global assets. For the very first time, developing, growing economies are strategically stepping into a much more balanced, equitable position within the established world's financial value structure. That is why the official confirmation of Tier 4B liquidity is fundamentally not just about individual financial gain. It is truly about reliably correcting years of systemic economic imbalance across the entire international financial system. At this absolutely critical stage, financial commentators are strongly advising all viewers to intensely monitor these latest developments, but strictly avoid all forms of speculation and unchecked online hype. The next 72 to 48 hours could potentially be extremely critical as major banks finalize all internal testing and successfully move toward a full public confirmation of the process. During this intense time, quiet movements usually and reliably precede visible, public results. It is strongly akin to watching a massive tide change in the ocean. The initial, strong motion begins deep beneath the water's surface, long before the ultimate result becomes completely visible on the shore to onlookers. Every single reliable sign clearly indicates that the internal banking systems are now active, synchronized, and successfully functioning properly. Once full synchronization is officially confirmed between domestic banks and global treasuries, we may finally begin to see official updates filter out through reliable institutional announcements and press releases. It is extremely important to emphasize how structurally different this current reporting period genuinely feels compared to all past, speculative cycles. There is a very noticeable lack of confusion, fewer openly conflicting stories, and a much more unified, consistent tone across all major independent observers. In any financial reporting situation, professional consistency is consistently the strongest, most reliable indicator of financial truth and progress. When numerous independent financial networks so reliably describe the very same operational changes using similar, non-contradictory language, that is a reliable and powerful pattern that must be taken extremely seriously. The consistent confirmation of Tier 4B liquidity has now been reliably echoed across diverse financial monitoring groups, strongly suggesting that this event is no longer just mere speculation. It is verifiable documentation of rapid progress within the massive global financial system itself. Looking directly ahead, what strategically comes next could completely redefine financial opportunity for countless deserving holders. If the revaluation successfully proceeds as currently structured and planned, participants could reliably see the full benefits of their many years of immense patience finally realized. Beyond the personal, individual financial outcomes, this monumental event marks a broader, necessary step for the entire global economy toward fairness. Nations long strategically undervalued by outdated exchange metrics are finally about to formally take their rightful, balanced place in the competitive world market. For Vietnam and Iraq, this significant event means stronger national currencies, renewed economic independence, and a much greater, immediate ability to successfully engage globally and autonomously. For the wider world, it strongly signals balance, a strong movement toward greater transparency, and fair value in all financial dealings and transactions. At this crucial juncture, all financial commentators are urgently advising all viewers to simply monitor these latest developments, but strictly avoid all speculation and online chaos. The next phase of the process is strictly about verification and methodical control. As the underlying systems go reliably live, official rates align, and the new financial framework successfully takes its final shape, we are consistently reminded that unwavering faith in the process and persistent patience can reliably pay off in truly extraordinary, massive ways. The world's massive financial stage is undeniably shifting toward transparency, real asset value, and global equity. For now, all available signs consistently point to this being the confirmed beginning of that truly historic new chapter. Stay steadily tuned, stay reliably informed, and remain patiently steady because this time it undeniably feels real. Now, listen extremely carefully to these words because today's specific update is fundamentally not another recycled headline or unverified rumor, but is actively happening across the financial system right now. Fundamentally feels structurally different. All necessary financial signs are strongly aligning, and the internal buzz inside the global financial world is consistently getting much louder by the hour right now. If you have been patiently waiting for genuine, solid, verifiable movement in the critical Tier 4B exchange process, this could absolutely be the single most important, crucial update you have reliably heard all year long. We are no longer simply talking solely about financial speculation or future possibilities. We are now speaking directly about immediate, verifiable preparation and execution. Key financial systems are fully tested, major banks are completely ready, and the reliable word across all private financial networks is that the absolute final steps are already demonstrably in motion. So, please quickly grab your coffee, take a deep, stabilizing breath, and stay fully with me until the very end of this report, because by the final time we are done, you will fully understand exactly why financial insiders are correctly calling this precise moment the closest we have ever structurally been to Tier 4B officially going live. Let's begin right now with an analysis of the undeniable atmosphere currently pervading the entire financial community. For many months, we have meticulously watched Iraq rebuild its financial infrastructure and restructure its economy at a truly incredible, rapid pace. What used to reliably take many years to accomplish is now successfully being completed in a matter of mere months. Every single official report and internal source consistently points to the very same specific direction: complete financial modernization and verifiable readiness for full global integration. The new digital dinar financial framework is completely live and fully operational. Interbank settlements are successfully functioning reliably, and all foreign transfer systems are now directly and securely connected with major, necessary international institutions. This significant kind of rapid, consistent financial progress does not simply happen by absolute chance or luck. It only happens strategically when there is a definitively larger, precise plan fully in motion, and it is undeniably clear that Iraq has been diligently and successfully executing that specific plan with absolute precision and focus. Every single structural PCR from new anti-smuggling protocols to government payroll digitization tells us unequivocally that the nation is structurally getting ready for something absolutely monumental in scope. Tier 3 includes all the major private exchange projects and structured groups who are next in line. And then, finally, comes Tier 4, which is logically split into two separate parts. Tier 4A is strictly reserved for certain military individuals or government-connected groups. Tier 4B, however, is specifically for everyday, general private holders, People just like you and me who have been patiently holding on to Zim, Dong, or Dinar, waiting for this specific day to finally arrive. And right now, according to what is actively and consistently unfolding, Tier 4B is now undeniably closer than anyone had previously thought possible. The single most talked about name in this entire process right now is the major financial institution Wells Fargo. Over the past several consecutive weeks, numerous financial professionals and multiple reliable internal insiders have consistently mentioned that Wells Fargo has successfully completed all necessary internal preparations for diligently handling foreign currency exchanges that are directly connected to Tier 4B. That massive undertaking includes rigorously testing digital appointment systems, setting up secure, specialized exchange locations, training their specialized staff, and updating internal software. Just take a quiet moment and sincerely think about that major commitment. A top U.S. bank is investing in massive, secure financial infrastructure specifically designed for large-scale foreign currency exchanges of this precise magnitude. That is absolutely not a small or minor operation in any capacity. It clearly and strongly shows verifiable readiness at the highest level. Insiders consistently say that those meticulous preparations are fundamentally not just simple future plans anymore. They are completely done. The advanced software is fully tested, the secure systems are completely in place, and everything is now simply waiting for a final, single go signal from authorities. Now, here is precisely where the entire situation gets incredibly interesting and strategically vital for all holders. Over the last few critical weeks, consistent,